They're a little bit above the bottom, guys. There's also some lines at 40. What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to show you the secret technique and the setup you need to outfish all of your friends, all your buddies when you're squid jigging out there in the Puget Sound. That's right, I'm going to reveal the secret method to catch more squid than anyone else around you, drive people crazy with how much squid that you catch, and it's all right here. All right, before you get too excited and like, who is this guy claiming to be a squid jig master? I am not. I am nothing. I am just a guy who loves to squid jig, and I'm okay at it. All right, I don't think I'm any kind of expert master squid jigger. However, I do think I've got a method for squid jigging that generally will outfish people around you who aren't using it. So if you combine your incredible squid jigging abilities with this technique and this tackle setup that I'm gonna unveil for you here, I think you could probably even catch more squid than me. I mean, it's possible. All right, the basics of this is you need a different kind of setup, right, for your rod, reel, and your tackle than what typically people use. You know, they think, oh, squid, they're small, they don't fight, so let's get a little trout rod, a little spinning reel, and, you know, have some fun. Okay, that's great, that's fun, but what if we combine catching with the fun? I mean, what if we had the best of both worlds? And for that, I like to use a casting rod that can handle a decent amount of weight, because I'm going to use 3 ounces in 100 feet of water, maybe even more if we've got current or other factors, or maybe if you're jigging deeper water, you might need to go higher. So I want a rod that can handle at the upper end 1.5 ounce, maybe even 3 ounces, and I want it to be, you know, kind of on the smaller side with a great taper and a sensitive tip. So I'll have a few links in the description for you that you can look at, be able to purchase them on Amazon, and I'll show you what my rod specs are. I have 2 different setups, one that's more sensitive, one that's less sensitive, but they both work. So you know, you're able to feel the squid. That's the thing, you got to be sensitive to feel the squid when it grabs your jig. So now, obviously, the secret sauce is the line counter reel, right? Because what we're doing, the basic technique, is we're looking at the fish finder, we're seeing where the squid are on the fish finder, and we're using the line counter to drop right to them. I know it's pretty complicated, but there is one other aspect to this that I think is important as well, which is your actual squid jig terminal tackle. So I don't use kind of the normal string of individual jigs that go up, you know, with like 1.5 feet, 2 feet between them. You know, usually have 3 or 4 in a string. I don't use that. What I do is I start at the bottom end. I have a string of unweighted jigs with a snap swivel on the bottom, which I attach to a cannonball that I can switch out for however much weight I need, 1, 2, 3, maybe more ounces, but oftentimes it's 2 to 3 ounces. And OTORI sells these beaded, unweighted jigs. That's what I like to go with. I'm sure there's other brands out there as well. Again, link in the description for you to pick them up pretty easily. You can find them. Sometimes you can find them in the sporting goods stores too, although they're not there. They're not as commonly available sometimes. But then I'll go like, you know, 1.5 feet, 2 feet to, you know, pick your favorite weighted jig. I mean, there's a bunch of, OTORI makes those too, but, you know, grab whatever your favorite one was from your old method, your tackle, grab that jig, put it up there, you know, at least 40-pound, 50-pound test in between, a nice stiff line in between, and then attach your main line to the top of that jig, and you're good to go. You've got my secret squid jigging tackle setup. But why I advocate for this way of doing it is that cannonball at the bottom with the unweighted jigs keeps it all straight. Like you don't tangle this up, right, the way you can on some other setups, and it allows you to go right to the spot you're fishing. You're not waiting forever for that thing to get down, you know, on the bottom. So a lot of times you can get a lot of times you can get squid by going right to the bottom, going up a crank. You know, I watch people with their spinning reels. They don't really know where they are in the water column. They put a lot of squid in the boat doing that. It works. But sometimes, a lot of times, the squid are 10 feet off the bottom. Maybe they're 10 to 20 feet off the bottom. Sometimes they're changing their depths as they're going. Sometimes in 100 feet of water, you find about 40 feet, 50 feet, right? So you've got to be flexible. You got to be able to get, you know, I see a lot of times people on other boats, or they go, oh, the squid stopped biting. It's like, I mean, they didn't stop biting. They're just not at the bottom where, you know, where you think they are, because you don't know where you are in the water column. So, you know, try this method out. Make the adjustment. You'll not regret it. You'll put a lot more squid in your boat, especially when they're moving around the water column. The other thing I'll say about this technique and this way of doing things is, you know, the same rod, reel setup, the cannonball sinkers, all that, it translates right over to rockfish, right? You go out of the ocean, you go to the you know, Nia Bay, CQ area, and you fish for rockfish. You do the same thing. Get an unweighted rockfish setup without weighted jigs or anything like that, just the plastics of the flies, and you put the cannonball on the bottom, and bam, do the same thing. Look at them where they are on the screen, drop to that spot with your line counter, and you're into the rockfish, right? So works great for that. Works for salmon as well. Suspended salmon, you see them on the screen in the summertime. They're not always on the bottom, right? You drop right down to them, and bam, there you go. You got some salmon as well. And the rod handle's sensitive enough for squid, fun to catch rockfish on. Can also land a nice Chinook salmon on the same rod. So yeah, another topic with squidding that people talk about is like, what's your boat strategy, right? Do you anchor? Do you drift? Do you get a tether to your buddy's boat? Or a lot of times these days people are using these bow mount trolling motors using spot lock technology. So they said to tell it to stay in one location, which can be really nice. You know, sometimes squid will move around a lot, and if you're staying in one location, you're anchoring. It's a huge pain. You have to pull the anchor, and you got to find them again. And it's better to just be on the kicker motor, just motoring around, trying to stay on top of them. Those days are kind of grindy though. You're not going to put nearly as much squid in the boat on days like that. So, but if you get enough boats in the same area, a lot of times the commotion of the jigs dropping and catching squid and all that, it keeps the squid sometimes in one place, and that's optimal scenario for limiting on squid, especially during the daytime, which is my favorite time to do the squid jigging. Absolutely. No, my favorite boat strategy is if I can, I'll just stay on them with the trolling motor, try to use that's manual spot lock with my kicker, and try to back into whatever direction current or wind is trying to blow me, and try to get really close to the other boats that I don't know until I make friends, and they're like, hey, do you wanna you know, they're like on anchor, on spot lock, and they toss me a dock line, and I'm like, oh, thank you.
How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good. You took me how to shrimp.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome, I'd love to hear that.
Your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Excellent.
Ready?
Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you. All right. Actually, I really do appreciate it when people do that. That's pretty awesome, and you get to meet people that way. Connected with this one dude who was like, "Yeah, your video was awesome on how to shrimp in Puget Sound," and it was cool. We had a conversation, and later connected on Facebook Messenger, and you know, that's fun. Squidding is a social activity. You know, the more boats in an area, the more that school's going to stay there. So it kind of invites people to come in, and everyone's happy. Everyone gets their squid. So, you know, don't be shy. Get right up in there, and you know, make some friends. This is pretty good daytime squidding, man. Oh, there are a bunch of them back on the screen again. Yeah. Not going more than like a minute without a squid over here. I see him down there, 60 to 80 now. All right, in closing real quick, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please like this video, turn your notifications on. I don't even think I did that in the right order, but you get the idea. More content coming your way. And you know, the last thing for squidding, all you need is you just need a non-small craft advisory day on the sound to go out there, which is sometimes harder than you might think in November, December. So you know, give it a try. Get out there, give this method a try. Pick up that gear. I'll have links in the description, and feel free to drop me any questions, comments. If you think this idea sucks, I mean, you know, you're welcome to tell me that too. I mean, you're wrong, but you know, we'll see where it goes. So have a good time out there. Stay safe. Hope to see you out there at the next daytime squid party on Puget Sound.